everyone, I am Ramyashri. Welcome to my channel Ashwin's Astrology. Today we'll explore the fascinating role of Surya, Sun in Vedic astrology. From spiritual significance to astrological implications, let's try to uncover everything you need to know about this powerful celestial body. Kalyan Verma states in his book Saravali, which is the ancient classical scripture of Vedic Jyotish, that Surya Atma Shitakarastu Chetaha. Sun is the Karaka for Atma, and as a Karaka for Atma, Surya ignites very calmly the consciousness or awareness in the body. Without this divine energy, the body is lifeless. The life cannot exist at all. And that's why astrologically we say Sun is Atma Karaka or the soul planet. Because without the Atma, without the consciousness, the life cannot exist in the body. And that's why Sun is a very prime and main planet in Vedic astrology. If all the planets are strong and if Sun is not strong, then we cannot rule out or we cannot predict any kind of good results for that person, because Sun is that conscious. The person has to be enlightened or has to be made aware of his or her own capacity, and that's when the great things will happen. And that's why Sun is very important. Without the consciousness or awareness, nothing great happens. So from astrological point of view, Sun is a very important planet representing the Atma. Now let's see what astronomy says. So astronomically, Sun is not a planet, it's not a graha. So Sun is just the nearest star to our planet Earth. So in our solar system, Sun is at the center of the solar system and all the planets revolve around the Sun. And Sun is just a volume of multiple gases. So it is a luminary, natural luminary which illuminates the whole universe, and also it is one of the prime star very near to Earth. And it is one which is having a such great amount of gravitational force also, through which it is controlling all the planets. And that's why Sun is considered as very powerful celestial body in the solar system. So if we now compare both astrology as well as astronomy and see, we can see the main or the same amount of facts represented or detailed out in both ways. So Sun is that important. So it is a luminary, that's a Prakashamana Graha. So this Sun, which is the sphere of gases, has a temperature at the center point of around 400 million Fahrenheit, and also to mention about its volume, which is 1.3 million times greater than Earth. And even the gravitational force of Sun is 28 times more than the Earth. And that's why Earth or any other planets will be revolving around the Sun at a specific motion as well. So that's why Sun is such a very important planet from astronomy point of view and also from astrological point of view. So Sun being at the center, it will control all the planets. And that's why in astrology also, Sun we represent by power and authority which controls others. And that's why Sun is very important to government or for politics, for any other fields where we need that authority or control. So this was from comparing from both astronomy and astrological point of view. Now let's get into the Bharatiya Parampara. So who is Sun? So from Bharatiya Parampara, as per our history, Surya is the son of Aditi, Devi Aditi, who was the Dakshaputri, and Rishi Kashyap, who is one of the Saptarshis, the son of Marichi Brahma. So that's why Surya is also known as Aditya, the son of Aditi. As Sun is a luminary, Prakashamana Graha, Surya is also known as Bhanu. Because Surya activates the self-consciousness in the Atma, he is also known as Bhaskara. And for his wife Sangya Devi, he had to reduce his heat and intensity to lead a normal Grihastha Jivan for her, and that's why he is known as Martanda. So there are some more names given in Jatak Parijata like Heli, Tapan, Aruna and Arka as well. These are also the names of Surya itself. Aruna, we know well, he is the Rathasarathi of Surya, because Surya has 7 white horses, and the Aruna, who is the Rathasarathi, he is the stepbrother for Surya, because Rishi Kashyapa had many other wives also, and one of the wife, Vinata, through her Rishi Kashyapa had another son, Aruna. So this Aruna becomes the Sarthi of Surya, and that's why he is also known as Aruna also. So these are the some of the names mentioned in Jatak Parijata, which is another ancient classic scripture about Vedic Jyotish. So now let's come to the zodiac or Bachakra of how Surya or where he is placed or what is the significance in the zodiac. So zodiac or Bachakra is nothing but the combination of all the 12 Rashis. The whole Kundli, or which we see, the 12 Rashis, that is known as Bachakra. In English it is known as zodiac. Sun, Surya rules Simha Rashi. So Simha Rashi is his own Rashi, and he is the ruler of that Rashi, the lord of that Rashi. And the exaltation, so every planet will have the exaltation, Uchchasthana, or the debilitation, Nichasthana, and also Mula Trikona. So for Surya, Mula Trikona Rashi is his own Rashi, Simha Rashi. It is till the 20 degree, because every Rashi has 30 degrees, and till 20 degrees Surya is said to be in Mula Trikona when placed in Simha Rashi. So 0 to 20 degree of Simha Rashi is Mula Trikona of Surya. And Surya gets exalted or Uchchasthana, if we say, in Mesh Rashi. So Surya's exaltation point is in Mesh Rashi, and the Parama Uchchasthana is in 10 degree of Aries, Mesh Rashi. And the debilitation point is direct opposite of it. So that is in Libra, that is Tula Rashi. Surya is said to be Nicha or debilitated. And the Parama Nicha Sthana or the deep debilitation point is at 10 degree Libra or Tula Rashi. So Mesh Rashi is the exaltation, Uchchasthana, and Tula Rashi is the debilitation or Nichasthana. And 10 degree respectively will be Parama Uchcha or Parama Nicha Sthana for Surya. And Simha Rashi is the Mula Trikona Rashi. And now coming to the 3 nakshatras, like any other planet, Sun also. Sun rules 3 nakshatras, that is on which it has complete control or ownership, that is Kritika Nakshatra, Uttara Palguni Nakshatra, and Uttarashada Nakshatra. So Kritika, Uttara Palguni and Uttarashada, these 3 nakshatras are Sun's nakshatras, and Sun has the complete ownership of them. So Sun by nature is a fiery planet. So planet is not actual planet has in astronomy, but it is like a graha. So for understanding from Sanskrit, so there is no equivalent word for graha in English, so we are using the word planet. So please do understand like that. So Surya is a fiery planet, that is Agni Tattva planet, and Simha Rashi is also an Agni Tattva Rashi. That's the reason even Simha Rashi has that Agni Tattva. And Surya owns only this sign, and this is a very prime sign in the one of the prime signs in the whole Bachakra or zodiac. Now seeing from the astronomical point of view also, Surya is a volume, that is sphere of gases, right? So he is that fiery kind of a planet, fiery kind of a star in the whole solar system. So the same thing we can see in astronomy as well. And it is a star and it is stationary, it doesn't move. And that's why we don't associate that sun is moving, or and even if we say sun is rising in east or is setting in the west, it doesn't actually make sense, because from earth when we see sun appears to move, but in actual sun doesn't move, which we are well aware of from the astronomical point of view, because it's the earth which is rotating on its own axis and revolving around the sun, which makes us feel that the opposite objects are actually moving. So in zodiac, in Bachakra, in Vedic astrology, we have kept the transit of sun for our calculation purpose in constant. So the sun transit, that is the movement, is noted as 1 degree per day. So that's why solar calendar has 360 days. So sun completes one whole Rashi in 30 days, because every Rashi has 30 degree. So 12 Rashis into 30 degree, which will become 360 degree, which is the whole one whole circle. So that's how we actually calculate the sun's transit in all Rashis for the whole year in Vedic Jyotish. So sun's transit is 1 degree per day. So it takes 30 days to complete one whole Rashi and next. So like this, that's the reason you see that most of the newspapers or journals which actually give the astro predictions, which will be based on sun sign itself, because it's very easy to note on what is the sun's transit. So on 14th of April, sun will be in Mesha Rashi. On 14th of January, sun is in Capricorn. So like this, it is very easy to note down or to track down where sun is there on the particular day, because it's 1 degree per day, it is fixed. So sun doesn't go retro or nothing does happens to sun. Now let's see what sun, Surya, represents in actuals. That is, what are the things which we have to see from sun, what are the matters we have to concentrate or for which we have to use sun while making predictions. So Surya is described as, in our ancient classic scriptures, he is described as Madhu Pingaladaka Chaturastra Tanuhu Pitta Prakrutihi Savitalpa Kachaha. So this means that Surya denotes honey colored eyes and deep red or dark red kind of complexion, and he is of Pitta Prakrutihi, Pitta Prakriti, Pitta nature, bilious nature what we say, and he is someone who represents a well built or a slim body. Chaturastra Tanuhu, so like a square face and a well built slim body. Then he is someone who is sattvic in nature, malefic but less malefic, and he represents father. So this is how it is described in the ancient classic scriptures. So if I combine all the sayings in the ancient classic scriptures, whether it is in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Jatak Parijata, or in Brihat Jataka, Saravali, if I will compare everything, collect everything and consolidately, if I have to say what sun is, so Surya represents father. So he is the natural, Naisargika Pitrukaraka, and he represents the government, that is Sarkara. So the physical characteristics of Surya are honey colored eyes, less hairs or curly hairs, and of Pitta nature, long arms, square and slim body, and not very lean also. It's a normal slim or like regular body, and also to mention long arms. So anyone with long arms, long fingers, so that's also is represented by sun. So these are the physical characteristics. Next, coming to the mental characteristic, the person who is very powerful, who is authoritative, who controls or who exerts his or her opinion, but doesn't forces the person. So because Surya is not exactly like Mangal, because Mangal is the one who exerts his opinion and also forces one to follow that. But Surya will exert his opinion on others, but won't force to do the same. So that's one thin line difference between Surya and Mangal. As anyone who is actually watching the video and has knowledge about it, they should not get confused between this characteristic of Surya and Mangal. So these are some of the mental characteristics of Surya, and also he is the Karaka of Swastya, Kshamata, Pratapa and Shakti. So he is that eternal energy in us, and for Pratap, for glory, for health, and also for the capacity or caliber one person possesses. So these are the characteristics of Surya. Also, the influence of Surya makes a person very passionate, driven, and the person will be philanthropic in nature, will have creative mindset, will be brave, intense, and also possess great amount of leadership qualities, because Surya is that leader who actually drives and who is very passionate and who leads from the front. So all these kind of qualities we can find in a person who is highly influenced by Surya, so in his or her horoscope. So this is these are some of the characteristics of Surya. So now, as we have seen all the kinds of significations and all kinds of qualities of the Surya, now let's try to apply it in the horoscope. So before going there, let me also mention of the friendship of Surya with other planets. So among the 7 planets, excluding Rahu, Ketu, how Surya's friendship is with other planets, that's also quite interesting. So if we take it for Surya, the friends would be Chandra, Mangal, and also Jupiter, Guru. So Chandra, Guru, Kuja will be friends to him, and Shukra, Shani will be enemies to him, and Buddha will be his neutral. So there is a way of calculating this as well. So we have to take the Mula Trikona Rashi of Surya, that is Simha Rashi. From there, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9 will be friends. Let's try to implement and see for Surya itself. So for any planet, we have to first take the Mula Trikona Rashi. So for Surya, Mula Trikona Rashi is Simha Rashi. So from Simha Rashi, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th, and also we have to include 12th because 2 and 12 are adjacent houses, so they have to be friends. So the lords of these Rashis from Simha Rashi, that is 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 12 will become friends, and any Rashis apart from this, it is 1, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, all this will become enemies actually. So any planet which is coming in friend as well as enemy will become neutral. So now if you see 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 12, so it will be Mercury, Mars, Jupiter and Moon. But Mercury will fall in enemy also because it is the 11th lord. So from Simha Rashi, Mithun Rashi will become 11th house also. So Mercury is the lord of 2nd and 11th. So that's why it will become neutral. So Mercury is a friend as well as an enemy. So it becomes neutral to Sun. Mars, Moon and Jupiter, Kuja, Chandra and Guru, all these 3 planets will become friends to Surya. And the other 2 planets, that is Shukra and Shani, will become enemies. So this is how the natural friendship table is actually designed, or that's how easily we can find out. So now let's try to see the other features of Surya, how he behaves in any houses in the horoscope. Mantreshwara's Paladipika says that wherever Surya is placed will destroy the signification of that house and won't give much amount of benefic results or related to that house. But if it is Trikona, then we can expect auspicious results of Surya. So 1, 5, 9 are Trikona. So when Surya is placed in 1, 5, 9, that is either in Lagna or in the 5th house from Lagna or 9th house from Lagna, then we can expect good results. And when it is placed in 10th house also, we can expect good results because 10th house becomes the natural karma sthana, and Surya is also related to that because for career and career related activities also we refer to Surya. And also, as I mentioned earlier, Surya attains Digbali or the directional strength in the 10th house. And that's why when Surya is placed in 1, 5, 9 and 10, he will give good and benefic results if it is not Tula Rashi. So that's why Surya, if it is not placed in these Rashis, we may not receive good results. But again, it will just destroy one or the other signification. But if it is the lord of a Kendra sitting in a Trikona or a lord of Trikona sitting in Kendra, then also results will vary. That is, Kendras are 1, 4, 7, 10 and Trikonas are 1, 5, 9. So being the lord of Trikona 1, 5, 9, if he sits in the Kendra, then we can expect some good results because it's a Raj Yoga. So now let's see how Surya behaves when he is placed in the 12 different houses from the Lagna. So when Sun is placed in the 1st house, so anyone can get this placement, that is Surya on the Lagna itself, only when that person is born during the sunrise, because Lagna is definitely decided as per the timings actually. So during the sunrise, wherever Surya would be, that would be the Lagna. So if Surya is in the Lagna, means the person is born during the sunrise or within 2 hours of sunrise. So in this case, what happens is that Surya in the Lagna is a very good position, because Surya is the Karaka for the Lagna, because he is the Atma Karaka and Lagna represents the Atma. So it's a very good position. But if the Lagna or the house is of Mesha Rashi, it will be extremely good. But if it is of Tula Rashi, which is its debilitation point, it will not be that good. So if Surya is placed in the Lagna and it happens to be Mesha Rashi, then it will be exalted sun. So it will give extremely great progress and good luck also in life. And if it is aspected by Guru, then it is much more better as well. But if it is Tula Rashi, we may not receive that amount of good results, and Surya is considered weak there, and the person might have less hairs or curly hairs on head. So that's one feature of Surya being in Lagna. Generally, Surya in the Lagna is a great source of strength because he is the Karaka for that Bhava, that house. So Surya placed in a Lagna also means that the person will have a strong moral nature, will be ambitious, will have a love to power or to raise to that kind of a authoritative position, and will be even blessed with good health also. So in the Meena Lagna position, when 6th Lord Surya comes and sits in the Lagna, it also mentions that the person will have good or a decent form of health also, though it is not the Lord of a good Rashi, Lord good Bhava. So these are certain characteristics, or these are certain predictions which we can give based on Surya being in the first house. Now let's see what Surya will give being in a second house. So as per Paltipika, Surya also rules eyesight. He is the right eye Karaka. So Sun being in the second house mentions that the person may have honey colored eye. That is Madhu Pingaladaka, what we actually saw few minutes ago. So Surya in the second house actually can give a honey colored eyes, the eye color change, or whoever is Surya being aspected, like Jupiter is being aspected, or Surya is with Rahu or with any other planet in conjunction, that also can influence the eye color of that person. So suppose if Sun is not placed well in the second house, that is if it is afflicted with Rahu or in any other malefic like Saturn, Shani, or even if it is not in good Rashi, that is suppose if Tula Rashi is the second house, that is being born in Kanya Lagna, if Surya is placed in the second house, then it becomes like a weak or afflicted Surya. So this can actually give eyesight issues also. So apart from the eyesight, it can even cause problems in speech also. Suppose if Sun, usually Sun will be with Mercury, Buddha only. So suppose Buddha, Surya and also Rahu is there or Ketu is there. So it might limit the fluency in the speech also, because Sun usually destroys one or the other signification of the house where it is seated, as I mentioned before. And second house is neither a Kendra nor a Trikona. So it becomes much more inevitable. And for Kanya Lagna, Surya becomes the 12th house also. So if we are seeing from that Lagna or for any other Lagna where Surya is not the Lord of Kendra or Trikona and sitting in another house where it is not Kendra or Trikona, then it happens. So generally to see like this first house, second house, third house, Surya has to be either Kendra or Trikona Lord from your Lagna, and has to be placed in Kendra or Trikona to get the good or benefic results. So if it is there, then you can expect good results from Surya. So now speaking from this context, so if Sun is placed in a Lagna without any affliction, the Rashi is of good one, Lordships are of good one, that is everything, if it is a green signal, then we can say that Surya will give benefic results. The person will have a very good morality, the person will be highly ambitious and also of a strong ethical nature and very punctual, and also because Surya, right, so he is very punctual because he doesn't misses the time, and someone who values time and who values rules and regulations and follows it accordingly. And he is the one, because Surya being a Raja, he is the one who makes the rules also. So would be in that kind of position, and it's a very good position and it will give you a very steady progress and a good luck as well. So this is what we can say when planet is placed really well, that is like a Surya kind of planet in the Lagna or even in the second house for that matter, will give very good results in terms of speech, in terms of food, in terms of sanskar, because food also we see from the second house and speech also we see from the second house, and also the sanskar, the basic value system also we see from second house. So anyone who has to have that good upbringing system at home or good samskara, then second house is very important. So if Sun kind of a planet is placed in second house with all the good green signals, then it will be good. Similarly, if Sun is placed well in the third house, then we can say the person would be brave, courageous and will be valorous, because the third house is the Parakramasthana and also the Sahaj Bhava. So that's why Sun in the third house is considered really good, and also it is the start of the Upachaya Sthana. 3, 6, 10, 11 are the Upachaya Sthanas, and Surya in the third house also is considered generally very good. So the person will actually be very strong in nature, will be philanthropic in nature, that is will be very modest also, and to mention in other ways, the person would be intelligent, socially active, and also could be in a kind of a position where he can take up decisions and also start something new also independently. So all these positive things will actually come here. So this is mentioned in Chamatkar Chintamani also, that person who has sun in the third house, if it is well placed, without any afflictions, aspected by planets like Jupiter, then definitely Surya will make the person highly intelligent, wise, and also who is talented and wealthy as well. So all these characteristics also would be there in that person. So similarly for other bhavas also, based on their prime significations. Now seeing to the fourth house, so again here also, if planet is really well placed and without any afflictions, then we may see some kind of moderate results, because fourth house is generally not considered that good, because it is a Kendra, fourth house. But only when Surya becomes the fifth or ninth lord and then comes and sits in the fourth house, that is if we see for any lagnas like for Mithun Lagna, Surya is not a Karaka planet, it is a third house. Or if it is Tula Lagna, it is not a Karaka planet. And also for Makara Lagna or Kumbha Lagna, it's not a Karaka planet. So for these kind of Lagnas, Surya in the in whichever fourth house, if it sits, it may not do that well. But for Makar Lagna, obviously there's an exception, because for Makar Lagna, Surya becomes exalted in the fourth house and aspects the 10th house. So that time it would be good. So it is a different from different horoscope. So depending on your Lagna, it will give the results. But fourth house is actually, it is a throne. So if planet is placed really well with good aspects, then it can give you a very high position in your career also. That's very important to note. But there is also one problem related to this. That is because of fourth house placement of sun, because that's opposite of Digbali position of Surya. So you might not be sure of what you want to do. Also, sun's placement in the fourth house may not do well if you want to buy property, vehicle or something. Suppose sun and Venus are together in fourth house, and if it is placed well, fine. But if it is Kanya Rashi, for Mithun Lagna and Surya and Buddha, or Surya or Shukra in Kanya Rashi, then it may not do well in buying any new property, new vehicle or something. You might not feel it actually convenient for you. It might get delayed, or it might give you some negative results also related to that, or likelihood of having your own house also would be very less. So these kind of the results you can expect when Surya is in fourth house and not in a good Rashi or not in a good state. So third house, when I mentioned regarding courage and valor, there was one more point to add for that. Usually when Surya is placed in third house, which is considered good in ancient scriptures also, if it is placed with any planets like Buddha, Shukra, it can make the person a very good artist as well, or even a good journalist, writer, author as well, and also a good lawyer or accountant as well. Because any planet associated with it will actually give the more results. If Surya is with Buddha, he will give more results of Buddha than its own, because no planet will give results of its own. Actually, it will usually mix and match with other planets which it is associated either through position, conjunction or through aspect. Suppose if Mars also joins Sun in the fourth house, then if that Rashi by mistake is a Scorpio or Meen Rashi or Karkatak Rashi or Vrishchik Rashi, any of the watery signs, then the person might get into depression also. Because Surya and Kuja, or even in those Rashis like watery signs, if Surya is placed and it happens to be fourth house, it can lead into mental depression also, because fourth house is very important for domestic happiness. So Surya there might actually reduce the signification, which we were speaking about it before this. So that's why it is very important to note what is the lordship of the planet, as well as the position of the planet in which Rashi, and how that Rashi resonates with the sun's nature. See, when it is in Mesha Rashi, Surya would be extremely happy because it's its exaltation point, and also it is the Rashi of Mars, that is Senapati. So definitely it will do well, because for a Raja, the safety of kingdom is more important than anything else. And that's the reason Surya gets exalted in Mesha Rashi, because it's the Senapati, he is the one who will be the most dearer and nearer to him. but it gets debilitated in Tula Rashi, which is usually considered as nartakis or any musicians, quotitions. So that's where he gets Nicha. Also, Sun's placement in the 4th house may not do well if you want to buy property, vehicle or something. Suppose Sun and Venus are together in 4th house, and if it is placed well, fine. But if it is Kanya Rashi, for Mithun Lagna and Surya and Buddha, or Surya or Shukra in Kanya Rashi, then it may not do well in buying any new property, new vehicle or something. You might not feel it actually convenient for you. It might get delayed, or it might give you some negative results also related to that, or likelihood of having your own house also would be very less. So these kind of the results you can expect when Surya is in 4th house and not in a good Rashi or not in a good state. So 3rd house, when I mentioned regarding courage and valor, there was one more point to add for that. Usually when Surya is placed in 3rd house, which is considered good in ancient scriptures also, if it is placed with any planets like Buddha, Shukra, it can make the person a very good artist as well, or even a good journalist, writer, author as well, and also a good lawyer or accountant as well. Because any planet associated with it will actually give the more results. If Surya is with Buddha, he will give more results of Buddha than its own, because no planet will give results of its own. Actually, it will usually mix and match with other planets which it is associated either through position, conjunction or through aspect. So now coming to the 5th house. So here we can say that it is primarily of education house, of romantic affairs or for interest or passion, everything. So a person, if Surya is again well placed, then it can give you some good new kind of hobbies related to Sun, or it might give you something better than what you can expect. Education would be of a very good nature in a very reputed institution. So these kind of things also may happen. But if Sun is not placed well, then you might find a lot of problems in completing education, because usually Sun will destroy one of the signification of the house where it is placed in, right? So that will get activated and you might start seeing negative results. So that also is possible. Similarly, if we go to 6th house, 6th house is generally Upachasthana and also Trik Bhava. Usually it's not considered good, but Surya, who is also malefic, a less malefic planet, coming to 6th house is good, and at least from the career point of view it is really good. So it will give you name, fame also if Sun is placed well, like if it is Vrishchik Lagna and Surya is in a 6th house. So the person could be in any of those professions where you have to fight a lot, or you have to get the things done immediately. So that swift action, like Mars is required, like in police, army, like that, or some authoritative government position. So these kind of things Surya may give, because it will give as per the Rashi, because no planet will give its own results, its own signification kind of results in its own dasha, antardasha, or in the any kind of houses in the horoscope as well. It will always give more and more amount of results of the planets with which it is associated with, either through position, aspect, conjunction. Suppose Surya is sitting in Makar Rashi, he will behave like Shani. So those kind of individuals would be more interested in controlling people and also dictating people. And that's what Surya represents, because Shani is of a controlled nature or of a discipline. So Surya coming and sitting there can give those kind of results. So this is how we have to actually see and predict the results actually. But again, we have to see all the 9 planets and all the 12 Rashis. So whatever Rashi predictions, the house predictions which I am mentioning for Surya are general in nature. Similarly, as I mentioned, 6th house is for Rog, Ripu, Rin. So Surya entering 6th house, generally it will be very good. So it can make him victorious and very courageous also. So from career point of view, it will do really good, because 6th house is workplace also. So for sports persons as well, Surya in 6th house is considered a very good placement. But if Surya is not placed well or aspected or with Shani, then you might face a very strong opposition in each and every area of life, which will slow down your progress. Also, as it is Roga, Ripu and Rina, so it can even cause certain kind of diseases which might be unrecoverable or will take a lot of time also. Because Surya not placed well means on time there is no solution. So it might get delayed, and of course when Surya is afflicted means definitely it should be either with Rahu Ketu or it should be with Shani. So these are the planets, because Mangal and Surya are like good friends, so sitting together won't cause much havoc the way Surya Shani can cause. So that may happen. So in 6th house it's a good point also and it's a bad also, depending upon which Rashi it is, because any planet will give the results based on the Rashi or the dispositor strength as well. So that's very important to note. Then coming to the 7th house, it might give only one marriage and only one relationship, and that also it can give some amount of malefic results, because again it's not a Trikona house, though it is a Kendra, and if it is 9th lord in 7th house then we can expect, but again if that Rashi is Tula Rashi then we can't expect, because I have seen a 7th lord sun seated in 9th house along with Venus very close, because sun is very close to Venus, it combusts Venus also, and Venus is an inimical planet, and that's how it gave innumerable problems in marital life for that person. So this also may happen. Also, generally speaking, Surya in 7th house is never considered good, because it is the house of marriage, house of relationships, and Surya is such a fiery and those warm planet, it won't do well. It's a malefic planet, so it won't do well in the 7th house. To an extent even Shani will do well, because it's a patience, it is endurance, but Surya won't do well in 7th house, so it will simply burn out, or you won't be interested in it. So Surya being very strong and in 7th house can also actually cause problems in your marital life. And also in a business relations also there might be a lot of ego clashes as well, because when Surya is placed and also is afflicted, that's when the problem happens. Suppose Surya is placed in Simha Rashi, or Surya is placed in suppose Mesh Rashi and is with Rahu, with Shani, then it can give some more and more negative results, because Surya is completely afflicted in this kind of situation. So this is the predictions for the 7th house, and similarly 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th also we have to see from the prime significations of those houses. 8th house, Surya is considered good because it can give you inheritance. So anyone who is looking to inherit ancestral property, they can check. So Sun's presence in 8th house, either through lordship or through position, aspect, conjunction, if it has connection to 8th house or 8th lord, then that person might inherit the ancestral property. Now coming to the 9th house, which is the most auspicious house, and I also have Sun in 9th house. So can say that Sun in 9th house is generally good from the spiritual practices, because Sun is for spirituality, but it may not give that amount of good results with respect to father unless and until it is not a good Rashi. Suppose it's a Tula Rashi, it could be a problem. But if it is any other Rashis which is at least friendly sign for it, like Vrishchik Rashi, Dhanu Rashi, Meen Rashi, Simha Rashi or Karkatak Rashi, then Surya can give really very good amount of results here, and that can actually help you a lot even in your career, because 9th house is the adjacent house to the 10th house, so it can give the benefic results, or the benefic results might get extended to your career as well. So that's also a bit noted. So then next going to the 10th house. But if Sun is afflicted in the 9th house with Rahu or Shani, then it can even give you dharma parivartana also. You might change your religion, or you might actually want to get into a new culture or tradition also, which is against the the tradition in which we were born and brought up. So that also may happen. So next let's see for a 10th house. It will be invariably very good for your career. You will be in a powerful authoritative position by the age of 36 years. So Sun in the 10th house will activate the Meshurana house, because 10th house is now known as Meshurana. That is the place where a person will give orders or instructions. So you will be at that authoritative position as well. And Sun gets generally Digbali in the 10th house, so it is again very good for you. So if the Rashadipati of the 10th house is also at a good strength, then it will be like a cakewalk for individuals having Surya in the 10th house. So next, similarly, seeing for 11th house, it's good, but again it is a Ayubhav, income place. So if Surya is not 5th or 9th lord, then you might not get such amount of good results, but at least to some extent you would be able to get the benefic results, but 11th house placement is generally considered good, because any planets in 11th house will always give auspicious results, but it's quite tricky also depending upon the Rashi, from speaking from Surya's context. So next, let's go to the 12th house, the final house. So Surya in 12th house actually make you be deprived of sleep, that you might be sleeping for less time than one should sleep or than you were sleeping before. Then also Surya in the 12th house in Janampatri may mean that the person would be more and more spiritual and more concentrating towards moksha and not interested in leading a normal life, because Surya is having very much craving for name, fame and money. So Surya can give all of them, because he is the luminary, right? Prakashmana Graha, who will illuminate crores of lives on earth. So that's why Surya in the 12th house generally not considered good, but if we see from the expenditure point of view, it may actually lower down your expenditure as well, Sun coming to 12th house. And also in the same time, when Rahu Ketu is afflicted with Surya in the 12th house, so it also means that you were born very close to the time period which was very close to eclipse. Okay, so there's nothing much to worry, but it's actually a good practice to note down these things. So that's it from the Surya's placement for all the 12 houses. So now coming from the spiritual perspective, so the Adidevata for Surya is Rudra, that is form of Bhagavan Shiva, which is very prominently mentioned in Hindu scriptures. So worshipping Rudra, the form of Bhagavan Shiva, will be more auspicious and more profitable for planet Surya. Next, coming to the Adidevata. Okay, Adidevata I have mentioned. So I can just conclude saying this. So this was all about Surya as per Vedic Jyotish. I have tried to give a very detailed kind of information. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel Ashwin's Astrology, and also pass it on to your family and friend circle also who are interested in Vedic Jyotish. So on an ending note, I just want to chant one Bija mantra and one Prarthana mantra of Surya. Om Ram Hrim Ram Saha Suryaya Namaha. So chanting this mantra on a daily basis will improve the position of Surya in your chart. So this powerful Bija mantra of Surya is highly auspicious and very intensive kind of a mantra. So please do make a good use of it. And also the Prarthana mantra will come like this. Japa Kusuma Sankasham Kashyapeyam Mahadyutin Tamorim Sarva Papagnam Pranatosmi Divakaram. So Surya is that natural Vaidya, because he is the one who lights up the whole world. So through sunlight only many of the diseases could be cured. One disease is there, right? Vitamin D, rickets. So that requires that the newly sunlight or the sunrise time sunlight also. So like this is what Surya is. I hope you like this video. So let's meet with the next planet in next video.